My M35 wife, F34, is offended that I suggested that she get her tubes tied. My wife and I have 3 kids. Are not planning anymore. We are currently separated, but we are trying to mend our relationship. Even before we separated, she was very adamant on not wanting any more kids and me getting a vasectomy. I was more on board with it back then because we were in a healthier space and I saw us being together for the long run. Now that we're trying to fix things, the conversation has been brought back up. So, we were at my place last night, and she said that me getting a vasectomy will really show me committing to our relationship. This must have been the 5th time in the past week that she's asked me, and I respectfully shut it down each time. We agreed to take things slow. This is not taking things slow. So, I asked her that if she doesn't want kids that bad, then why doesn't she just get her tubes tied? I don't want a vasectomy. I don't mean to be a pessimist, but we're separated. Yes, we're trying to fix things. But what if we aren't successful? Well, she took that as disrespectful and left. How should I bring this up again? Why are you guys currently separated? This is a case where I really wish people would just communicate honestly and directly. I'm not interested in getting a vasectomy. I respect that you know you don't want any more kids, but I don't feel that same certainty. And given that we're currently separated, I'm not going to pretend that I'm sure I'll never want kids with someone else. If me not getting a vasectomy is a deal breaker for you, then this isn't going to work. I feel like there is a lot missing here. But dude, for the record, a vasectomy is practically an outpatient procedure. A tubal ligation is major surgery. Why are you even discussing permanent decisions when your relationship is so uncertain? I wouldn't bring it up again, and I would tell her that if she brings it up, you're going to have to take a step back from reconciliation because she's not listening to you. Communication is key to healthy relationships, and neither of you are doing a very good job. Can you afford a 4th kid? Not just with her but with anyone? Please just be done with each other. You're not going to work out if you don't want any more kids with her but would with somebody else. Get real, man. I have 3 kids. I had 3 C-sections and 2 miscarriages, including a messy D&C that put me in the hospital for 3 nights. I am done at 3. My body has been through a lot and I'm good now, but wow. Some things will never be the same. Plus, 3 kids is plenty. He was not particularly helpful or supportive when I was pregnant and not particularly active as a father. He never did night feedings and always insisted on his personal time while guilting me if I took any. This got worse with each child. When pregnant with my 3rd, I asked my husband to get a vasectomy. He took a hard stance that I should get my tubes tied. He had some good medical arguments, but I took the position that I had sacrificed a lot building our family and I wanted him to take on this simple outpatient procedure which was not a lot in comparison. TBH, I would have accepted willingness to do it and then gotten my tubes tied. But to me this procedure represented some effort at the parity we did not have. And I was very clear that that was how I felt. He did not do it but instead chose to attack my understanding of medicine and downplay my contributions to our family. We are now divorced. My only regret is staying as long as I did with someone who did not love me. Did you just tell her to get her tubes tied, or did you tell her everything you wrote? I don't want a vasectomy. We're separated. What if it doesn't work out? Because if you said all of that, on a human level, I think it's easy to understand why she would be upset. If she's hoping for a reconciliation, it might cause upset feelings that you pointed out how unsure you are and how fragile the relationship is. Not saying she's right or wrong to be upset, but her reaction is very human. And then if you didn't say all of that and just told her to get her tubes tied, I can also see how that could upset her, again on a human level, and make her feel like you might have been being dismissive or didn't care about putting her through a difficult procedure when the vasectomy is a much easier thing. I think the best course of action is to wait a bit for her to cool off and then have a very in-depth conversation about all of it. Work on the communication and be completely transparent. Clearly this isn't about more kids. It's about her trusting your commitment to her. Seriously dumb way to ask you to prove it, and a dumber way for you to deflect the fact that you have serious doubts about your future with her by asking her to get her tubes tied. Major communication lapses. I see why your relationship isn't working. I mean, it seems to me in quite a few comments here that you already have one foot out the door and are not really interested in reconciling. If it was me and I had already been separated 2 years, I would have just pulled the plug. Sounds to me like you guys have a lot more going on than the sterilization debate. I can see why she feels the way she does, and you sound like you're not really interested in reconciling. This is not healthy for any of you, especially your children. They have been through a lot already, and it seems like neither one of you are really thrilled about getting back together. This post doesn't exactly scream "I love her, him, and I want this marriage to work." No one seems happy in this marriage. For my kids' sake, I would just be done and get divorced. Getting tubes tied is a much more dangerous surgery than a vasectomy. Personally, I don't see this working out. But I'm also a little surprised that someone with 3 kids already would want more in the future with someone else. Isn't 3 plenty? TBH, it sounds like you guys need to just part ways. After 3 kids, it is totally understandable that she has asked you to have a vasectomy if she doesn't want any more kids, and she doesn't want to be on birth control with its documented side effects. Vasectomy is an easy, very low-risk procedure with a short recovery time, and reversals have a high success rate. Tube tying, hysterectomy, is higher risk. A major procedure under general anesthetic and has a much longer recovery period, months instead of hours. Literally the only logical reason why you would argue for her to tie her tubes instead of you having a vasectomy is that you still want children. So if she doesn't want children, who are you having these children with? It really does scream, "I'm going to leave you at some point to have kids with someone else," or "I'm not seeing us a long term." I see entirely why she feels that way. So just admit it to yourself and to her. Divorce and go have more children, as that's what you obviously want. And if that's not what you want, then maybe you need to ask yourself why you're fighting her so hard then. And why you're potentially willing to lose your wife over it, if it becomes a deal breaker. So you are basically saying you do want more children with someone else when you respond that way. It's kind of an "ah" response. You already have 3 kids? Do you seriously want more? You already have 3 kids and a troubled marriage, so why are you wanting to keep your options open for having more kids? Trust me, as a kid from the first of 3 totally separate generations of kids my own dad had, you're not as good at this fatherhood thing as you think you are. You're 35 and already have 3 kids. Do you plan abandoning those you have on your wife and start anew with another woman? Because I don't see a person being good at parenting 4 or 5 kids in 2 different households. LMAO. You told her you have 1 foot out the door. You are thinking about having another family with someone else. And you want her to try to work on your marriage? So, what is the difference between you not wanting a vasectomy and her not wanting her tubes tied? You do not get to choose what she does with her body, and she doesn't get to choose what you do to your body. Divorce before you both do something really hurtful to each other. Neither of you have any right talking about reproductive health when you are separated. Hugs. Just get the damn divorce. She didn't want to get her tubes tied during her last childbirth. You don't want a vasectomy. Personally, you have been separated for 2 years. Yet you still sleep together. How is therapy going for you both? Couples or individuals? Either you both on the same page or do you both still want to have more children? The tell is that she keeps bringing it up and you keep saying, what if? Are you worried all 3 of your children are going to die, or do you think she isn't the one and you want to find another woman to have more children with? Be honest with yourself. Because your what if is just an excuse, just like it is with your estranged wife.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.